I'm CK, and welcome to part 4 of updating this Stratocaster. Tonight we start putting pieces back on. This will probably be a multi-part process. There are some interesting things I'm going to have to deal with, and we'll get into those after I show you the parts we're going to be using for the reinstall. The big reveal. Here are the parts that are going to be going back on this Strat, and as you can see, significantly, they're black. I decided, since I'm upgrading this, might make a little contrasty, a little more eye-popping guitar, so I started with the Fralin pre-wired pickguard in black, and then I said may as well get all black componentry. So let me go through what we have here. At the top end we've got Goten tuning machines. Also got 2 black strap buttons. Then we have a black bridge and trim system. The tuning machines and the bridge were purchased from stumac.com. Then in the middle here, you'll see we've got some black string trees and a black input cover. Those I picked up from reverb.com. Then the Fralin pre-wired pickguard with Fralin pickups on board. And the pickups I chose are: the neck pickup is a Fralin Blues Special, middle pickup is a Real 54, and the bridge pickup is a Vintage Hot. So that should give an interesting variety of tone to this guitar. Then we've got a black back. Next step, we'll test fit this gear to the body of the Strat. So first, let's look at the output jack. If I put the output jack here, you'll see, hopefully, get a pointer. You'll see that the screw holes don't quite line up. What's happening is the output jack tip is hitting the back of the cavity. And hopefully you can see it a little more clearly here. Let me see how close I can zoom in. You'll see that the original chrome output jack cover is about 1/8 of an inch shorter than the new black one. So that's what's causing the tip to hit the end of the cavity. Now the next interesting area is the pickguard itself. If I lay the pickguard in, if you'll see, this hole's good, lines up. This hole mostly lines up, this hole lines up, this hole lines up, this hole lines up, this hole lines up. This one does not. So I'm going to have to drill a hole there to put that new screw in to hold this pickguard on. I'm pretty happy. These are a little off. You can see how I'm not quite centered over the hole, but I'm not going to worry about that. But this one definitely needs just a completely new hole. I dropped the bridge in also earlier today, and those holes all line up there, so I'm not too worried about that. The other area that will need work is the new tuning machines. The old stock tuning machines have, trying to get it focused correctly, have 2 index pins that go into these holes. Now, the Goton, I am not pronouncing that right, I apologize. Tuning machines do not have pegs for alignment. They instead have a screw hole and you screw it in. Now, that means drilling 6 more holes. That's not a big deal. What is more interesting to me right now, though, is when you drop these in, as you can see, the old index pin holes are still there, visible, and also something I didn't anticipate, the wood has darkened over 20 years of just sitting around, so the lighter wood that was under the old tuning machine is exposed. Now, I'm not sure I'm gonna care about this. I think I'm just gonna ignore that because I'm filling these in with plastic wood or whatever. It would just look ugly and I wouldn't be able to match the colors anyway. So I think I'm going to leave this alone. It's on the back of the headstock. Nobody's ever going to see it but me anyway. First thing I'm going to do is put a cable in the output jack just to make sure that the prong is fully extended so I don't run into more problems once I actually get everything together. Oh gosh, look at that. If you look with a jack installed, the screw hole is right up at the cavity. That's no good. I mean, it's no good that I'm sitting here shaking my head saying, what am I going to do about this? This stinks. I have to think about that. I may have to put the old cover back on. Actually, as I'm thinking about it more, I may be able to, I think what I'm going to do is go in there and route out a hole for the sockets for the plug to go all the way in, because I don't want to use the old one. That destroys the whole one of the points of what I was trying to do for myself. So I think, I mean, I know, if I get in here, and grind some of that out, we should be fine. I can make that as deep as I want. There's no, I mean, I've got a full inch between the bridge cavity and the output jack cavity. So I think I'll do that. Okay, let's have a go at this. So what we'll be using is first, safety glasses. If you're not wearing safety glasses when you're doing stuff like this, you're just being silly. These are nice DeWalt ones that are comfortable, really clear to see. Then I have this, which is attached to my shop vac to suck out the material as I'm going along, which means I'm going to be turning the sound off for this part of the video. Then, of course, a Dremel tool. Now, you may not recognize this as a Dremel tool because I bought this in 1979 before most of you were born. So, but it works, has worked for 40 years, and it's great. So, sound coming off and gonna dive in. So I'm going to make a little mark to see how much not good this is, to see where I am. So it's the center of it. pick guard off again. Wow, that's interesting. So here's the mark from where the hole is drilled in the pick guard, and here's the original hole, and that's, geez, that's 7/8 of an inch off. That's very interesting. I wonder how that happened. Whose jig where got messed up? Make sure I'm right in the center. Stand the nail up. Give it a tap or two. Okay, that's a great guide hole for the drill bit. And once again, safety goggles on. A little bit of a hole. Let's put the pick guard on one more time before we call it all good. Oh yeah, all the holes line up. New hole lines up. It's all great. And the next step is doing some soldering. So let me get my soldering rig set up. And the smart ones of you out there probably realized what I was doing wrong in my next step, and that's that I probably should drill these holes for the machine head screws instead of starting to put the pick guard soldered in place, because I have to finish that or else it's just going to be flopping around. And let's pop pegs in. Now we'll snug the ferrule down. Not hugely tight, because it doesn't need to be hugely tight, because the string's gonna keep things from coming out, but a little more than finger tight, maybe wrist tight. Oh, and you'll notice when I did the back that I did not use my electric screwdriver, because sometimes you really have to feel what you're doing, and putting those screws in needed more of a feel than just the power of the electric screwdriver. So, tuning machines are in. And I think that'll be it for this evening. We did a lot of work and got some parts installed. So that'll be it for this episode. We'll finish installation in the next one. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.